in Tokyo. For his views on this latest missile launch from North Korea, we're joined from Washington by Lieutenant Colonel Daniel L. Davis, a military expert and senior fellow at the Defense Priorities think tank. Thank you so much for joining us once again, Mr. Davis. Last week, we were talking to each other about the last missile launch of the North Koreans. We would like to apologize. We've lost the Lieutenant Colonel on the line. We will try to have him a little bit later on in the program. I've been told that he is back. There you go, oh. Lieutenant Colonel Davis. It seems like we're crossing signals here between Washington and Singapore. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. So what do you think is this latest missile launch from North Korea? What do you know about it?
Well, as Rupert just told you, the details about it, it's fully expected. It's another ICBM missile launch, and it's going to take some analysis in the coming days to find out just how successful it was or what its capabilities may be. But I think the thing that's important to recognize here that this is not merely something that was fully expected, but it doesn't change any of the situation, certainly in the strategic sense. Because what the United States really needs to do is to take a very sober look at this and to recognize that we have profoundly higher military capabilities than North Korea. North Korea is desperate. They believe that this is what they need to do to defend themselves. And we need to make sure that they understand that if they ever used any of these missiles or any weapons of mass destruction against the United States or any of its allies, that it would result in an immediate and catastrophic response. But if they don't use these weapons, then they shouldn't have any fear that we're going to unilaterally attack. Because what we want to do is prevent them from using it, not cause them to use it. So we need to tamp down the rhetoric a little bit and recognize that we're in a very strong position.
So, Lieutenant Colonel, what do you think will be the response now of the United States? Because days ago, we just saw the UN Security Council imposing new sanctions on North Korea.
Yes, and of course, when those sanctions were signed, I mean, everyone recognized that North Korea is going to continue to make these tests because as Rupert also mentioned there, they need these for technical reasons to continue to develop what they're doing. And unless they get some kind of quid pro quo, I mean, they're not going to unilaterally stop because then they would be seen as backing down and then they would view themselves as being more vulnerable. What they're trying to do is, with all of this rhetoric about sinking Japan and turning the United States into dust and ashes and all this, is nothing but trying to scare people, to make people think they're much stronger than they are. We have all the cards when it comes to a military confrontation with North Korea, and we need to make sure that we communicate that and that we don't overreact.
All right. Thank you so much for your analysis on this latest development on the missile launch of North Korea. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, a military expert, joining us from Washington.